Welcome to Jaunty Haunts, the podcast about all things supernatural. After 30 years of keeping a secret, I'm finally ready to share with the world that I see ghosts. Yep, I've been having conversations with the other side while trying to keep up appearances. This podcast is all about getting spooky and connecting with others who might also sense, see, or feel things beyond the ordinary. We'll swap true tales of the seen and unseen, and maybe even laugh about the weird stuff we've experienced. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, come join me as we explore the paranormal. Let's connect, share, and maybe feel a little less crazy together. Welcome to Jaunty Haunts. Hey, spooky babes. Welcome to Jaunty Haunts Season 2, Episode 8, Part 2. This is part 2 of a two-parter that is all treats, no tricks. Today's episode, we are back with Whelehan talking about Halloween, witches, and holistic healing. And yes, we're mixing potions and talking energy work. Whelehan is joining me to dive into all of it. Caroline is a badass, a healer with some serious insight into the body, the mind, and the unseen layers in between. We talk about how the woo-woo side of things actually intersects with real science, like energy as frequency, emotion as chemistry, what's going on in our brains and our bodies, and how sometimes healing feels magical in the best ways. We're looking at how different practices, witchy rituals, and modern wellness all kind of overlap, and how maybe, just maybe, there's a bit of ghostly glow in every gut instinct and full moon. We are looking at the ways that old practices, witchy rituals, and modern wellness all sort of overlap. Her Instagram and website are both linked in the show notes, so go give her a follow, check out all her work, and grab your crystals. Wrap yourself in a blanket. Just kidding, it's July. Maybe you live in Alaska. Maybe it's not even cold there. I don't know what I'm saying. Just get cozy. Get those good vibes. Let's kick off the second half of this conversation with Caroline. I hope you enjoy, guys. Next week we're getting back to spooky stuff. So, I think after the, demon segment, doing all those episodes on a lot of dark stuff, I wanted to have sort of a contrast with some fun lighter stuff, some healing stuff, some inner work stuff. And next week we'll be getting back to all of the spooky, scary, weird. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the last few episodes with Lily and Caroline talking about the other side of this kind of stuff. So anyway, hope you enjoy. CASPER rating is, again, 1.
I'm so petrified that I can't move.
Mm-hmm.
I could have moved voluntarily, but I was so scared emotionally. That was my biggest experience of I could not explain that. I don't know who that was. I don't know. It was gentle. It was supportive. They sat next to my bed. I was laying down and sort of on my upper thigh. I was on my side. My upper thigh, they just sort of gently supported me.
Okay.
But I was super freaked out.
That
really
is
scared.
really scary. But here's my question. It didn't feel like the same like dark energy that had been there. You're saying it kind of felt like something different, being like, it's okay, it's gone type energy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I mean,
it was
scary, but a bit of confirmation from the other side that maybe whatever was rocking with Cheyenne, or maybe an ancestor of yours, right, was like, that thing is gone, you can relax, right?
It was very much that. And I didn't really feel that same fear really after that, even though I was really scared in that moment when I was like, oh my God, something is physically, there's a weight on the bed and there's a weight on my leg.
Yes.
Like I felt that. But yeah, it was beautiful. It was not malicious at all in my like energetic experience of it. I of course never saw anything, never heard anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my biggest, most tangible, like, whoa, that happened.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing that. I'm very curious too. And it's funny you bring up like the content of what the art was and knowing that area. We were just talking about how like that desperate, like kind of skeevy energy. What area were you in? Were you in like the Valley or Hollywood proper? Or?
I was in North Hollywood,
Yeah.
like Toluca Lake.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
I love that
You were,
energy,
I
but
think you were right by there.
yeah.
Were you living there at the time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for like 6 years we lived there. Yeah. Um,
Oh, six
yeah, we
years? Oh my
left.
God.
Yeah, we left in 2021 early to come to New York. Um,
Oh my gosh.
but yeah, definitely. And I feel bad like using this word because it feels very like generalizing. But
Hmm.
like there is like a lot of like perverted energy. You know what I mean? Like
Uh-huh.
I think because it's been such a transactional place for so long, and this sort of
Hmm.
thing, again, very like male centered, of like males running things, a lot of male energy that feel very entitled to things. So it's weird that it would like attach itself to something of like, for you and for other people, like celebrating the figure of a woman, feeling empowering, and
Yeah.
like sexualizing it and attaching itself to that. Did you keep that
Yeah.
picture? Do you still have it?
I do.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. But it
I
feels
don't feel
cleansed
any
now.
bad energy. Yeah, there's definitely not any bad energy on it, but at the time I was like it was right kind of above my bed too.
Mm,
Like the juju was bad in that space, in that room. Like it was yeah, it was just it was crazy. It was a lot of fear in that room when I was living there in that neighborhood too. I felt like yeah, really felt weird.
yeah. I'm sorry. It's interesting. I feel like it's been a few times brought up during the conversation is like this idea of fear and fear ruling our lives, obviously, right?
Hmm.
But you also just said something, and I'm curious. So you have OCD, like actual OCD, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got
Yeah.
diagnosed last month, actually.
What?
Yes,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, and it's been a huge thing with my therapist, and I've been very open about this with my listeners. I take medication. I started Lexapro in February,
Mhm.
and it's changed my life. Like
Wow.
especially with the OCD.
That's
Um,
incredible.
yeah, but something it's funny, even before the medication, I would talk about on the show. I mean, you maybe already heard this, so sorry if it's like boring, but like I think
Oh
it's
my God,
something
no.
important I want to reinforce for people who feel fear because they think I'm crazy when I say this. But I've told my therapist that I do that, and she was like, "Oh no, that's like literally what we recommend. It's exposure
Yeah.
therapy to like to things that
Hmm.
scare you, right?" It seems, obvious and like a cognitive behavioral therapy practice, but also like really great way to take control of your own life, especially when you have OCD and things like that. And like you said earlier, like what's real, right? Like what's actually happening. Because
Yes.
intrusive
Yeah.
thoughts are so powerful, especially when you're
Oh
like
my God.
living with this, right? And
Hmm.
so I remember like just the dark in general. I was scared of the dark for so long, especially seeing
Yeah.
spirits and ghosts and things. Like it was ruling my life. And so
Oh
there
my God. I
was,
cannot imagine.
yeah, yeah. So like it took like multiple years of like training myself like in like 10-second increments to going up to like a minute to 3 minutes to 5 minutes of just sitting in the
Hmm.
dark and being like, nothing is hurting me. Like it's okay. So
Wow.
I hope that, because even that was pretty recently, right? Like I think
Oh yeah.
a reminder to you, to me, to everybody, especially, whoever's dealing with mental health stuff, of like, you are in control. And as scary as it might
Yes.
feel, like, remember that, like, don't let your fear lead you, right? Because that's like, honestly, as scary as it sounds, that's what the yucky stuff wants. They want you to lead with your fear.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And how tough is that for someone with OCD who
I
will be like,
know.
am I manifest? Like I used to so when I was in LA, that brings me to this. When I was in LA, I was really honing in on my witchy rituals, right?
Yes.
I had an altar.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so fixated on on what energy I was bringing in when I was cleansing the space when I was smoke cleansing before the ritual. I would say, "Oh my God, I think I think because I'm fearful or nervous right now, I'm manifesting bad energy and
Oh,
cleansing the
I
space
know.
with bad energy.
Yes.
So it really can creep in. And then knowing that, that's what they look for, your vulnerability,
Yes.
whatever darkness and dark energy and shadows, maybe lurking around, that they kind of prey on that too. That's such a terrifying. Yeah, it's
It's a
scary,
bad
it
spider
really
web you can
is.
get caught in, definitely, within your own mind and
Oh
like your
yeah.
energy. But I think the thing to remember too is also like, don't overthink all of this, right? Like, which sounds so
Yep.
easy, but it's like,
Mhm.
I think there comes a point, especially with the woo woo and the paranormal stuff, because there's always this line, right? Where people are like, it's so fun. I want to experience something. I want to do something. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then, like, oh shit, how do I reckon with this? This is life changing. I'm
Yes.
not okay anymore. Something like, and it takes a
Mhm.
lot of time to heal from a paranormal experience or like something that you can't
Yeah.
explain. So it's like, don't play with fire. And number two, like, if something feels very real, like it's actually happening, like, go back to basics, become neutral, like become that
Mhm.
parent, become that really good parent that maybe you had or like didn't have, but like, does it help to
Mhm.
scream at a kid who's screaming? No. Like, breathe, be calm, and that's how you deal with
Mhm.
spirit when you're scared. Like, breathe out that fear because they're just going to want
Yeah.
more of it. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes. You told a story that I heard on this podcast about being a young girl with your grandma in the car, and she was getting out of the car to go into the liquor store.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And being like, this is bad, right? You had this thought where you go, oh my god, and I cannot even tell you how much when I was a kid, I used to look at my mom, like when my dad was at work, and I would look at my mom and I would say, there's an emergency right now, dad is in trouble. And she would be like, what? And I would be like, I really need to call him now, like he's in danger.
Oh,
He would be like in the
no.
car on the way home from work, and it's like that gut feeling that you have, like, is that your OCD,
Right.
or is that, you being like, oh shit, there is something not good happening right now, right? Like
Yes.
your little self, who was, I mean, kids are so profoundly wise and they are so sensitive to energy. And the fact that you were like, this guy, there is something not good right now. This is not aligned. This is bad. And having to grapple with, I guess what an OCD therapist likely would say, right, is okay, perhaps that's true. Perhaps that there is something going on and you don't know.
Yeah.
Right? And you have to sit with that.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my gosh. So yeah, as a creepy kid as you were, right? As a spooky kid who felt all these, big feelings, and it was probably super overwhelming. Like, still to this day, I'm sure you're grappling with your intuition, or these voices that you hear, don't go this way,
Yes.
right? Don't
Oh
turn
my
that
God.
way. And I have
Yes.
that too, and it's scary.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's so funny. I'm like, this is not what I wanted. No, but it's like, I'd love to talk about this. And
Mhm.
this episode might go a little bit of a different direction, but it makes me very emotional as I've been on this journey with this, right? Because
Yeah.
for so long I've said on the podcast multiple times, like, am I just crazy? Am I schizophrenic? I don't know, right? So now
Hmm.
forming this new relationship with myself, with my health, with my mental health, the spiritual journey,
Hmm.
being on literal medication, working with
Yeah.
doctors and therapists that I'm being very forthright and honest with about my abilities and the things that I experience, and being told now, you have someone with mediumship abilities. You are not
Hmm.
crazy. You're not
Yeah.
schizophrenic. This is, and like showing me photos and imagery of like, this is something people with schizophrenia see. Like, do you see this? And being like, no. Okay. Well, what about this? What about that? And anyway, this is getting a little long winded, but it's like the,
No, I'm here for
the
this.
coolest thing now with being on the medication with OCD is now
Hmm.
not feeling any sort of weird like guilt, worry, or fear of what I'm doing in my spiritual practice. And in
Hmm.
terms of like, oh, well, am I, maybe I did, yeah, and then you like can't sleep, but feeling like
Yes.
just more neutral of like, well, I can choose to do whatever I want or engage or this or that, and blah, 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 blah. And the biggest thing I thought was, well, am I still going to be able to see ghosts, right? If I take medication, is that going to dull whatever is going on here? And I've
And that
seen,
that thing that's been a part of you for so
yes,
many years, that's like it's your gift, right? And am I going to lose that?
right. And the answer is no. Like, I have
Yeah.
seen spirits in the last month, maybe clearer than I've ever seen them in my life, because I
Wow.
think that the noise is finally quiet. All of this extra of like my human brain and like hyperactive brain going on overload is finally calm. So now when I'm seeing something, I'm like, oh shit. Like, which I'll share all the stories on the pod, but like truly to the
Yes.
point where I'm like, I thought that was just a woman. I didn't think it was a ghost, you know?
Wow.
And so it's been,
How is that for like what's your gut reaction to that? Like does that excite you? Is that validate? Like what does that feel like for you?
I think I'm still sifting through. I don't know. I think number one, it is exciting, right? It's like, oh my God. Like, can I tell you the story? Because I haven't said it yet. Really quick, like just one of
Oh my
them.
God. Me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. This is what I love.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So, oh hey there, listeners. Courtney here with Jaunty Hans. Sorry to interrupt this paid programming, JK, this programming, to recommend some podcasts that you should listen to and that you should check out. These are creators who I have done some interviews with and spoken with, and their shows are awesome. So, first show is the Red Treehouse podcast. This is your official invitation to join Will in the Red Treehouse, where he'll tell you the creepiest, eeriest, and most terrifying tales to keep you up at night. And along the way, you'll be challenged to consider what you believe. Does the paranormal and supernatural really exist, or is it a figment of an overactive imagination? I mean, we know what I think, but episodes release twice each week and can be found wherever you stream podcasts. It's a scary world out there. Let's explore it together in the Red Treehouse. So guys, check out the Red Treehouse podcast. Another one is Arcane Carolinas. Check out Arcane Carolinas for an informed but fun-spirited look at the verifiable history and science behind stories about ghosts, cryptids, UFOs, and plain old weird stuff. Their research methods have turned up enough surprising information about the origins of lore that the Arcane Carolinas books have been preserved in state archival libraries. Arcane Carolinas is available on all major podcast services. Do you question reality? Are you drawn to UFOs, time slips, premonitions, or the mysteries of consciousness? Then you need to check out the Close Encounters Club podcast. Hosted by Justin Gearhart, a skeptic with an open mind, Close Encounter Club features real people sharing their encounters with the unexplainable. He's joined by his producer Josh, chiming in from Australia with his own curious takes. They also bring on scientists and experts who are actually trying to figure out what the hell is going on. So, if you've ever stared at the sky and felt like something was staring back, this one's for you. Search Close Encounter Club wherever you get your podcasts. Tell them Jaunty sent you. Another one to check out is Opening Kill. Opening Kill is the new podcast that covers the terrifying world of horror films. From the latest movie news to an in-depth look at a featured film and a peek at the chilling horror films to come, Opening Kill has you covered. Whether it's gore, suspense, or supernatural thrills, Opening Kill is the ultimate horror deep dive. Hosted by Brian O'Connor and Michael Duran. Listen to Opening Kill on your favorite podcast platform every Thursday. And also Believing in the Bizarre podcast. Also, guys, Hidden in the Shadows podcast, another great one. And just for funsies, just to shout it out there, maybe they'll hear one day, maybe I'll meet them, I don't know. My favorite all-time fun, spooky paranormal podcasts are, of course, Spooked by Snap Judgment, A Funny Feeling podcast with Betsy and Marcy, and Ghosted by Roz Hernandez. So just some fun recommendations for you guys. I love to boost and promote other podcasts that I resonate with. If you want a shout out, please reach out. I'd love to spread the word. Anyway, back to the show. I'd been on the medication for about 6 weeks, a little over a month, and I was in the subway. I was going to work on the L. And, at 14th Street, where like the 4, 5, and 6 meet the L, there's like multiple levels down. So like that L is like 3 or 4 levels down. And I was coming up one set of stairs, and there's like a long path coming this way towards me. And there was literally like a woman in like full, like, a huge hoop skirt black dress with like a shoulder peplum, a bonnet, and like a purple rose stuck in the side of her hair, and like a stoic, like mad face. And I thought it was like a cosplay thing, like it was like a woman dressing up, and I was, but her,
You really never know here
well,
in New
yeah,
York,
because I was like,
right?
we're in New York, right? We're in New York, right? And so I was
Hmm.
like, oh, like how, but I didn't see her first. Like I was going one way and she was coming a different way. Her energy pulled me first. So it was like that,
Oh,
you know, and I was
wow.
like, oh, oh, oh. Like it was so many things at once because like I talk about like the opacity, right? Being like a little off or translucence. She is right there,
Yep.
clear as day. So I was like, okay, yeah, maybe it's like she's caroling. Maybe it's a costume. And I'm like, well, it's not
Uh-huh.
December. Why would she be caroling? Like, what is the costume? And then I saw like a man close behind her, also in like what it looked like to be like older fashioned like garb. And I was like, oh yeah, there
Uh,
must be like going to a convention or some, who knows, it's New York. And then they kept walking and I realized he wasn't in costume. He was just like a Hasidic Jewish man in like normal clothes, you know, like with like the suit and the hat and the beard. And
yes.
he like
Hmm.
passed her. And I was like, oh, okay, so they're not together, you know?
Yeah.
And I just, as I passed by her, exactly, like we passed, I'm sorry. I'm saying sorry to the mic. Sorry. As we're
You're like,
like,
oh my God, honey. Sorry about
sorry
that.
about that, babe. We're like
Oh
passing
my
each
God.
other, and like she looks at me this way, and I look at her that way at the same time. And like you just get that like bone chilling coldness through your
Oh yeah.
body. And I was like, oh shit, if she's not a ghost, she has like very crazy energy, like a little dark crazy energy.
Right.
And I got on the subway car and I was like, and I peeked my head out, gone. And I was
Stop.
like, okay, let me rationalize this, right? Because again, the meds were working. I was drowsy, I was a little numb. I was like, no, that's not, I don't know.
Mm.
And I was like, there is a like the staircase I just came up. Maybe she went down it, but like that would have been really quick. Like by the time I got, she
Mhm.
would have had to have like run. She's like in a gown,
Right.
so I'm like, that's like not impossible, but strange.
That would have been like a spectacle too. Like
Yes,
it would have drawn more energy
people.
to her, which you would have felt. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So I left a little questionable, but like that was an odd energetic occurrence, right? Was it a
Mm-hmm.
spirit? I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. And then I went to go to bed that night in my apartment
Oh. Oh my God, Courtney.
and I closed my eyes. I pulled up my covers like I do, and I literally closed my eyes, and the first thing I see is her face go like this, like in my third eye, like her face like pops into my like dream view,
No.
and I like I was like, what the fuck, like what the fuck, and I like had to go out to the living room, and I like did a little meditation and like remembered the
Mm.
occurrence and like saw her, and it was that thing right where I felt like, oh shit, like my first thought was like, it was a ghost, it was a ghost, you know, like I got like
Mhm.
scared but excited but also validated, like, oh, she was like clear as day, you know, like,
Yes, yeah.
oh my god. But I had to do meditation and I had to be like, girl, I don't know who you are or what you want, but like you cannot be in my like dream space or my space. So I had to like, you know, do some work, some energetic work, and kind of like clear that so I could sleep. I slept fine. I haven't seen her again, but it was very weird, not just like recounting the day memory, but like I'm closing my eyes to go to sleep and she was like, hello. Like, what the fuck?
It wasn't the image that you saw of her. It was a new image that she
Yes.
presented to you, which was in a different form, like
Yes.
closer, different, and
Oh, I
it
got
was
chills.
like that is wild. But you know what's interesting about that? I'm hearing two
What?
things. Like I'm hearing that you had this overwhelming sense of clarity when you saw her,
Yes.
right? You didn't need certainty, right? Because as, in OCD therapy, let's say,
Right.
you certainty it's like, okay, babe, we're not giving that to you.
Right.
Right? You don't need that. You experienced something, it was in front of you and you said, "Okay, that's really clear. I don't really know. moving on,
Yes.
right? Okay, that could have been a ghost, a spirit. And then when it was really that intrusive experience that you had when she was kind of existing in your third eye, you really were able to, with another with the same clarity and intentionality, you actually meditated through that. You
Yes.
had complete control. You didn't freak out. You really stayed grounded. And then you actually moved on and had a great night of sleep. That is huge,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yeah,
That's
100%.
huge.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think even before the meds, right? So much of why I felt like I was ready and willing to make the pod was because I've worked so hard on, not in any other aspect of my life, just in the ghosty spiritual side of working on being calm and like not being met with fear, even if I'm seeing something fucking horrifying, which I really
Yeah.
have. Being like,
Yeah.
hey, whoo hoo, like big exhale and then a big inhale of like, you do you, I'm gonna do me.
Yeah.
I'm not
Hmm.
gonna be forceful, right? Because that's also what I've learned with spirit. Unless, I mean, some people work differently than me and like go them. But like for me and like my demographic, my spiritual history, I'm not gonna be like, get out of here. Like they fucking
Yeah.
hate that. They hate that. You know, it's just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh, all right. My space, no, that is where I'm strict. You don't come in my space, you don't come in my home. But
Mhm.
especially in New York, where we're like surrounded by energies all the fucking time. It's like
Mm.
you have to
Yeah.
live and let live at every level. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
That is a really wild story. I
yeah.
feel like you've had some really jarring subway experiences.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's like in the depths of like just, I mean, oof, what a shadowy place anyway.
Yes. Think of, it's literally
Oh,
just like sliding cars of energy and electricity. Like, of course it's
it
going to be
is.
a conduit for spirit and like strange occurrence. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I saw a man yesterday on my way home from work. There was nothing, it wasn't like some crazy great story, which is why I was like not going to tell it on the pod, but he was just like
Right.
wearing clothes from the 90s, like just standing there and like walking, and the same thing, like met eyes with me, met eyes with him, and was like, "Was that?" And I heard my voice go like, "Yes." And I was like, "Okay, I'm just going to accept it." But like he wasn't like bloody or anything. Like it's just a lot of times it's
Yeah.
like, and so ironically, I met someone today who's like very like cool and like on a spiritual level, and she's like wants to be on the
Yeah.
pod too, and she was like, you need to start helping these lost souls, but like it's a journey you're on. So like that's the next step, I think, with this, is being like, do you want help? I don't know, but
Mhm. Yeah, like what are your boundaries? Like discovering your own boundaries and how, because you've been given this thing. You can't control it,
yeah.
right? You are forced to educate yourself. You're forced to confront this, and it's like you can either ignore it
Mm.
or
I
you
tried.
can
I can't. I
choose.
tried and I can't. Like it finds a way to literally eat at you if you don't. Like, and like truly make your life miserable and like rot your brain. That's like in witchcraft they
That's the
say
shadow side of
yes.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, and like in witchcraft, I don't know if you've heard things like this before, but I had a friend who was like very much into witchcraft, and he would say like people who ignore their natural abilities literally get like rot, like magical rot, and it will eat you from the inside out if you don't use it. And
That is wild.
I was like, that's crazy. I'm fine. And then like after a few years, I was like, you know?
Yes. Oh my God. Of course, because you're like, what am I supposed to do with it? It's like it's not your responsibility, but it is kind
Yeah.
of. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you have to discover your own boundaries within like, what am I going to choose to do with this, right? And it's like right now maybe the universe has given you this gift to like share this work with people and say like, okay, how can we embrace our spirituality? How can we honor, those who live before us? How it's like whatever you discover with this is supposed to be your path,
Yeah.
and discovering the boundary within that and what's allowed and what's not is like, you know, it's another thing that's, I guess, your responsibility, which
Thank
is
you. That's a
crazy.
great way of saying that. Yes. And I think the thing I also want to share is that like I have faced a good amount of critique from some listeners and like family members who listen, and they say like, why aren't you helping more of the spirits that you see? Why aren't you clearing them? Why aren't you doing things for them? And it's like, I'm sorry, let's switch places. You know what I mean? It's like,
Of
especially because
course.
so many of
Yeah.
these times I was like young, right? I was teeny. And I'm like, I don't know how to be like, follow the light. I'm 5, you know? Like, I don't
Oh
know.
my gosh.
And
Yeah, of course.
also, like, you're talking about LA versus New York. Like, what a different experience it is when you're in Los Angeles in a house and a spirit is
Okay.
visiting your space and you have like a quiet neighborhood and like a spirit is there and it's like, let's work on this. How can I help you? How can I bring you out? As opposed to a
Hmm.
full busy subway station at rush hour and there's just a guy walking by who looks kind of lost, like, I don't know what to do right now. And that's part of what the podcast is for. Maybe meeting people who can help me and tell me and guide me how to do
Mm.
it. But sorry, this took kind of a tangent. But you know what I mean? It's like it takes growth, it takes learning. And here we are today on the solar eclipse in Aries. So
I know. I know. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh yeah.
so yeah, I think that it's been a great like fire under my ass, at least. I don't know about you, the last few weeks, this eclipse season.
Oh, oh my God. Yes.
Yes.
I am so much energy happening. Not sure how I feel about
Yeah.
it. It's a lot. Like it's definitely been like a challenging couple of weeks
Right.
for sure, but always, you know, growth happens from those
Yeah.
moments. Just as you're saying, right?
Yes.
It's like the universe is pushing you like, okay, babe, you have so much potential. Like you can do this really deep, incredible personal work. And when kind of like what your friend said, who's super witchy, like when you don't, when you ignore the gifts that you have and you don't honor them, like the universe will just kind of keep putting it in your keep forcing you to confront it until you're stepping into that and taking up that space and then reaching your full potential.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you don't feel like, it's like if it's scary or if it's like, oh, I really don't want to do this, it's like the universe is like,
We don't
just
care.
wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the door. Like, go through it. This is like out of your comfort zone or whatever, but reaching that like really magical, like life altering potential that you have and discovering that. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Crazy, crazy.
Same for you and the work that you do. I mean, I feel like you already are helping so many people. And I know once I start making more money, ooh, girl, I'm going to hire you first thing.
Yes. Oh my
um,
gosh. Yes.
but before we kind of start wrapping things up, do you have any other stories or experiences that you want to share?
I have, like I said, I have experiences of like, moments where I've had like the voice,
Mm-hmm.
who knows what that was, right? Like getting really really scared to go a certain way.
Yes.
This was all in LA, I'm not kidding you. I don't know if I was going through something, like I don't know what it was about that neighborhood, but when I would drive to work having severe anxiety of, okay, do I go this way or this way, and being like,
Yes.
oh my God, I feel like something really really dark and bad is going to happen to me if I don't make the right choice right now, and just
Yes.
being really overwhelmed by that. Um but I'll share this one really like sweet magical story that I have. When I was moving back to New York after living in LA, my parents live on the Central Coast, and I was I had moved into their home for like 2 weeks or something, the middle ground. And I took my crystals to my favorite spot in Shell Beach.
Oh,
And I was overlooking the water. And I was just like, I was spiritually open. I was like, I have this journey ahead of me. Like, I'm making, another transition in my life, moving back to New York. And I didn't have really necessarily something that was calling me back here,
yeah.
but I was following an energy of some kind. And I remember like I was holding my crystals. I was connecting to the elements, like to the ocean, to the air, the breeze, the wind. Had my feet on the earth, like, and I had this really overwhelming, I was talking to the universe, and I had this really overwhelming, like, emotion come over me. Like I started to like sob, and I was so overwhelmed, and I could sense the energy of like a partner,
Wow.
like a person like coming into my life. And I was like profusely like thanking the universe. I felt the energy of like partnership, love, safety, like all of this really strong energy that I hadn't felt before.
Yeah.
And I was thanking the universe for bringing this to me, and I sort of knew that that was coming for me. And then like 2 months later I met my partner, who I'm still with, who I want to be with forever. And I
Oh,
know for a
wow.
fact. Yeah. I really know for a fact that that was him. Like that was his energy being presented to
Yeah.
me. I was getting like a little taste of what he would bring into my life. So that was really, that was a really positive spiritual experience that I had, that I will truly never forget. That it was
I
strange.
love
Like,
that. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, that's so cool. Like introducing, like just trust you're going on the right way, affirming, and then being like, also like, here you go.
totally, totally. Yeah. And I was not feeling that like safe at that point in my life at all. I was not in that like cozy, trustworthy, safe place. It was a foreign feeling, and it
Wow.
was so like stark
Gripping.
and abrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where did you guys meet?
We met at, so I was working as a server in a restaurant
Mm-hmm.
when I moved to Brooklyn, and like I mentioned, he's from Italy, and he's been working in this, um, with this group of restaurant partners for many years in Italy, all Italian, many years in New York, all Italian people. And he was managing at that
Oh,
point the
cool.
restaurant that I worked at. And I remember the first time I saw it, like it was just like there was a lot of energy happening at that time,
Yeah.
and something really like stuck with me when I first like laid eyes on him. It wasn't, I didn't know by any
Yeah.
means, but it was just this really, like, I remember the feeling. So yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Destined, meant to be.
Exactly. This was the best. Loved it.
Thank you so much. I feel like there's even more we could talk about. I'd love to have you on again in a future episode if you're up for it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I feel way better now. And
Good.
this was like food for the soul. This was incredible. So thank you so much for
Oh
having
my
me.
gosh. Thank you for
I
giving me
love
your
your
time.
pod.
Thank
Yes.
you. I love
Of
you.
course.
And
I love you,
I
babe.
hope
Amazing. Okay.
I love you.
Thanks,
Thank you
babe.
so
Love
much.
you.
Bye.
Of course. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks so much for listening. Remember, you are not alone if you've ever heard a bump in the night or caught something out of the corner of your eye. There are countless others who experience things they can't explain. And this podcast is your safe place to listen and share. Also, I want to remind everyone that this show is for entertainment purposes. I am not a professional paranormal investigator. I did not go to school to study this. I can only speak about my firsthand experiences. And with that, I'd love to mark the importance of spiritual inclusion. Your thoughts, ideas, and theories about the other side are welcome. And we know that so much of our common knowledge and perception about the paranormal stems from historical and cultural experiences. So we are open to your knowledge and understanding of things that we may be ignorant about or not fully understand. Let's learn and grow together. Stay spooky, and we'll see you next time. Hey, ghoul friends! Got a spooky story to share? Well, I want to hear about your haunts. Whether you've seen a ghost or something unexplainable, send your supernatural experiences to us at jauntyhaunts@gmail.com. That's JAUNTYHAUNTS@gmail.com. Or DM us on Instagram at jauntyhauntspod. That's jauntyhaunts.pod. You can also find us on TikTok and YouTube under Jaunty Haunts Podcast. I want to hear from you.